Welcome to the Strategic Life Podcast, episode 89, State of Affairs, Quarter 4, 2022, with your host, Coach Mario.
Dr. Mario.
Along with Frank.
Well, here we are yet again. Fourth quarter of the year.
Fourth quarter.
Wow.
For thinking and talking about your resolutions. Yeah, we know how those went. Except for our overachievers. Excellent job. Good work. Way to keep up the good race and fight the good fight.
You're welcome.
Right. But if it's your first time around the block, if you're new around here, the State of Affairs episodes are done 4 times a year, and it's where we talk current events, specifically cramming down your throat our politics and our religious beliefs on you.
That's
about right.
Not so much. No, but basically these episodes are to basically talk about current events, what's going on in the world, from school, education, family, real estate, all those lovely things. So that's where we're at.
Yeah. I mean,
Cool.
and the hot topic right now is the economy, right? The number one thing people are concerned about, right? And this is according to the news and media, which if you're an avid listener, and I know you are.
absolutely.
I mean, you might not like money, but you like money. No matter what.
Well, here's the thing. When we say economy, it's not money. So if you think about it that way, it's going to be very difficult for you to understand what is actually being affected. When you think economy, when that question gets asked in the polls, it's mostly lifestyle, means of living, and it's pretty much how global policies, and I'm not just talking political, but how the global market, capitalism, policies, even the politics of things are affecting your day to day.
I agree. If you're thinking about the economy is equating to money, money is just energy. It's an exchange.
Correct.
And so it does have an impact on the bottom line, which is what you take home. However, what you do with your money could be obviously significant if you're smart about utilizing that energy in ways that, no matter what the circumstances are, that you can live comfortably and you can live well.
Correct.
So since we're past those lovely definitions, where are we at economically, in your opinion, as, let's say, a country?
Define. Okay. No.
There's definitely
In comparison to
what?
Why we say it that way. So a good example. Where are we economically compared to, an example, England, Great Britain, right? Literally a prime minister lasted 44 days.
Yes.
Came in, put policy in place that crushed the English banking system.
And checked out.
And had to be removed, had to literally resign within 44 days, right? So in comparison to that, we're not that bad. In comparison to where we previously were, and to go back to Coach's point, this is where we, ram our politics down the other way. We're horrible.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess for fair ground, right? And even we're going to talk politics later, but everyone likes to, especially in politics, to pick and choose their statistic. But let's just say pre-COVID. Yeah, I mean that's a fair statement. Yeah, that's when things, no matter how good or how controlled things were, that element of life was definitely the loop-de-loop. For a lot of countries, for everyone.
Well, COVID did change the dynamics of a lot of the areas in our lives: health, economy, real estate, financing,
Yeah.
Now,
relationships.
I'm glad you said that, because that's another type of brainwashing we do pre-COVID. But you have to realize we were doing well even coming out of COVID. Mm-hmm. So I'll give you a good example.
When did we come out of COVID exactly?
Well,
I just want to know where you're.
That depends what state. Depends what state you're in, right?
Right. Depends the color.
Here in the Sunshine State, where we bathe in orange juice and take jet skis to work, like there was no COVID.
Come on, somebody.
Right?
Just the facts.
But try this and keep in mind who was in office, right? I'll throw that in there.
Jab.
But January of 2021, inflation was at 1.4. Inflation currently today, these are numbers up to today.
Right.
We're at 8.3. Gas price was $2.39. Average gas price today 376. And this is coming after, well, we're dropping it and things like that. And God only knows what's going to happen, because as of yesterday, Saudi Arabia came out again, right? The Emirates came out again and said, we're not going to do any kind of business with the United States. Like they doubled down on that. So that's going to go up. A 30-year mortgage was at 2.65%. Like, let that sink in, right? We're at 7.08, and that's going to go up another quarter point.
Climbing, yes.
That's going to go up another quarter point before this month ends, right? Your average rent price was $1,600. Right now you're at $2,000. The NASDAQ was at $13,000. Right now it's at 10. Again, this is after COVID. This is 2021, right? COVID really crushed us in 2020. Grocery prices were 3.7% of a household medium. Right now it's at 14. So that's more than 5 times. Electricity was 1.5% of medium. Right now it's at 16%. You know? So you're earning, you were going up 4% in wages, which is the beautiful part. And this is where you get to the stagflation, right? Inflation was 1.4, but your wages went up 4.1. What's happening right now, wages are going up 2.8. So inflation's 8, your wages are 2%. And that's really what's crushing us.
Yeah,
and that's what's hurting.
I had to take a walk. That was a lot of facts.
It was.
I didn't appreciate.
I saw that.
But these are numbers. These are numbers after 2020, after the 12-week. No, what is it? The 12-month, 2-week curve, right? Stay home for 2 weeks, and it turned to be 12 months.
2 weeks to flatten the curve, sir.
So as far as where the economy is, it's in the tank. It's a dumpster fire.
Right. It is. I mean, I take a look at when we go grocery shopping, and specifically in purchasing chicken wings. I'm just keeping it real.
And your quarter pounder with cheese.
How? Not the quarter. I don't do quarter pounder.
He doesn't even eat McDonald's.
I don't eat Scottish food.
McDonald's. Yeah.
It's just incredible to see what the hike has been, and not just chicken wings. I'm talking about overall meat and other products as well. There's a lot of individuals that are being impacted by where we are today.
Well, it's funny you bring up food, right? Because that's another place where they're drilling down. So the most profitable food is breakfast food in the United States. It is breakfast food.
Profitable in what sense?
It leaves the best margins.
Best margins, yeah.
And in anything, grocery stores, anywhere, eggs, sausage, pancakes, restaurants, waffles, and Sunday brunch, it leaves the best. Now, so you have an idea. Eggs are up 33%. Bacon is up 16%. Citrus fruits up 17%. Coffee is up 16%. Cereal and wheat is up 13%. And this is cost. This is not now. So this is if you went to go get it yourself at the grocery store, or whether you were a restaurateur and you were going to buy these to serve this. So, by the way, why these particular 5, right? Frank, those are because all of those are specific industries that you can purchase. You can purchase pork belly in the stock market. You could purchase citrus in the stock market. Correct. You could purchase poultry. So there's index funds involved with that. So, wow, that's amazing. So in other words, if you were going to go purchase anything, if you're going to say, hey, you know what, for my retirement plan, I want to purchase this in an index fund, and I'm just going to leave it in there because it's a safe bet, chances are you're down overall 20%. Your average 401k is down 26%. So one of the most profitable items in the United States, you're losing 20%. That's wild.
Yeah. Do you have any good news for us?
Midterm elections are here, and then you can fix some of this.
Reverse the curse.
But we go back to that. But no, there really isn't any good news, right? The good news, why this is happening also is because...
The good news is that you're alive to appreciate some of the bad news. And if you didn't know it was bad, you wouldn't know it was good.
Exactly. You're here to see it.
Boom. You heard it here first.
The good news.
There's good news.
This is happening a lot because they have their finger, right? The federal government has their finger on the print button on money. So you want to get as much as you can.
Is the government, yes?
Yeah, the government, correct. The Federal Reserve, to be specific.
Okay.
Right? They want to they have their finger on the print button. So there is an excess of money, which means that it's out there. But you need to be disciplined and stack your chips. You need to be funding the bank account. The bank account should be going $1,000, $1,005, $2,000, $2,005. Look at this as like an economic winter. And those who are going to be able to hibernate correctly and come out of this correctly are the ones who did who collected their nuts and put away stuff and now are going to reap the rewards of it, right? So if you're doing, and it's not too late to do it, but you have to start now because it's right around the corner. If you're doing that, you're going to come out of this well off.
And these costs that we've talked about, food products, and et cetera, they vary by region. They vary by state. There are some states who are
correct
being exposed to even higher wages, which again is also causing exodus from several states and migrations, if you will.
Correct.
So that's economy. We love uplifting everyone's soul and spirits, but I don't think there's any.
Continue to listen to us, folks.
We've
got good news somewhere in here.
Where you can invest your money. Hey, wow, that seems, no. Number one, fund yourself. Pay yourself first. Doesn't matter what your job is. It doesn't matter what your income is. If you can't grab a good 10, 20, 50% of that, if you're able to, and put it away, like you need to start doing that. Like now is a good time to do that. 2, if you pay attention, learn a new skill, you're going to have buying power. Even with a little bit of money, you're going to be able to have buying power if you save enough through these holidays and then through tax season. Our economy, it goes up and down twice a year, right? Tax season, now it goes up for the holidays. So if you want, good time to start a business, sell product. Save your money because when tax season comes around, it dips back down. You're going to have buying power. So if you're able to be savvy and a little disciplined, call it for 6 months, you're going to come out of this very well off.
Absolutely.
Good.
Let's move on.
Thank you for that. Moving along, we're talking next. It's kind of goes hand in hand, but you can see some of the effects there. But real estate.
Yeah.
So if you've listened to some of our other quarterly episodes, you know that it's always like, it's on fire, and realtors, we're loving it, and
we're loving it.
Exactly. We're
past tense.
Correct word.
So did investors.
We're loving it, but obviously the extremely high interest rates, which did they just go up? I think I still read something that they were up
they're right now
a smidgen higher than even yesterday.
Real estate interest is at 7.08.
Man,
it's scheduled to go up to 7.32 within the next 30 days. Which drastically hurts how you purchase a house.
Heck yeah.
And so what we've already seen, I get all these alerts, market prices, offerings for homes that were listed.
Price cut.
Price cut is the language.
Yeah, I saw a meme the other day, and it said it's a couple, and they said, we love the house, but can we see something else, maybe just a little bit lower in price? And she's like, yeah, I'll come back here and we'll show you the same house tomorrow. Because people are
yeah.
We'll come back tomorrow and it should be
a good one.
100%.
So a couple things I'm seeing in the real estate market is, one, people are still obviously, rightfully so. It's your home, it's your investment, and if you can realistically get away with a higher sale, then why not?
You can get a windfall,
you want more money, of course, so you put it a little higher. But we are noticing the prices are coming down consistently, and obviously that's a little bit of a trade-off between the inflation, because people can't afford the house they really want, even less than previous years, right? So let's just put it this way. I'm not, don't quote me on it, but if a house with a, with a 4, 5, 6% interest rate was, $2,500 a month now, that you might be paying $3,300 a month now, or $3,500 a month now, just because of the interest rate. Again, I'm not a mathematician, so don't be running these numbers.
You're not too far off.
But you're paying more house, more money for less house.
Correct.
So people can't really get what they want, and it's a significant difference. Even when the real estate market was, consistently growing more and more. Mm-hmm. So what I am seeing is prices of houses are coming down. As far as availability, what I'm understanding is there's still some availability, but the interest rates is what's hurting most people. And even on some regards, what I saw again in the last 2 years for most homes is that if there was anything wrong, honey, we have 10 other backup offers. We aren't fixing a darn thing. It's as is, take it or leave it. And these people would take it because they knew what it meant. We're kind of coming back. And I don't want to say that the housing market is crashing or what. I think it's starting to normalize or stabilize or come somewhat down from where it was, which was that high consistent climb. Yeah. So I actually heard the other day, I am actually getting buyer credits now for some of the findings of, when there's damages or old roofs and stuff, which, like I said, there could be a bowling ball hole in the roof in some of these houses. And they're like, as is, you don't like it, I got other offers, 2-day inspection period, no. So bit of a slowdown there, but if you didn't know, now you know why. And I just feel for all my people who couldn't afford a house and maybe were saving up until this point because maybe what you were planning for is, bless you, is out of your price range. And now you're having to deal with these elevating rent prices, which I don't know what number we are. We've been pretty high on that as far as South Florida, Miami, as far as how much the rent is in the area. But even when the prices are going up for ownership, the prices for rent start to match. So
and I hear that from
it's pretty tough
from our folks all around the country. Some of our coaches, some of our clients. That the rental market is just insane. No other word to describe it.
So
I'll cough.
Real estate. 90% of real estate is purchased on a monthly cost basis. So it's not so much the down payment or the value of the asset, right? So I'll give you an example. Hey, well, we have to budget. We can afford a $2,500 a month payment. Okay, cool. So what happens? When the interest rate goes up, that $2,500 can get you X amount of house. Call it $400,000. Now I can get you $300,000.
There's an impact, absolutely. And so what we are just saying is whether you're a buyer or whether you're a seller, it's a different ball game, and it's changed within the last 6 months, and it possibly will change even more. And so we've got to kind of be conservative on both ends of the spectrum. I know you've seen it. You're the owner of Phoenix Inspections. A shout out to one of our sponsors. And of course, you've seen it, Frank, from your perspective in the finance and from business.
I want to buy a house, Frank.
Yeah.
Crunch the numbers.
It just doesn't get you. Hey, I make $100,000. Okay, that used to get you. You can get a $500,000 home easily. Hey, I make $100,000. With interest rates, that gets you $450 now. Like it's just you just killed off $50K worth of asset you can purchase. Yeah, that's a big difference.
Especially on the
that's
lower
neighborhood. That's an
price
extra
point,
room, right? And I'm telling you, at $100,000, the average medium is what, 52,000. Yeah. So hey, which gets you 360, call it, right, on a purchasing power. Now, because of interest rates, you're looking at $325. There's a big difference between $325 and $400,000.
You can't even get a 3-bedroom townhouse for $325.
So
I mean,
so you have an idea on how real estate is affected by this, and it's going to continue to go down. So these price cuts are not the value of the house itself, and that's the part realtors don't get. They're like, oh no, but it's worth the investment. Sure, it is, but my monthly budget isn't. Right? Like you're still crushing me monthly, man. And I get it. In 5 years, this will be a beautiful asset to own. I won't make it past year one with what I make.
And that's not even taking into account that there's been a correlation of rise in HOAs, association prices as well.
Or even property tax.
Yeah, property tax.
Well, property tax.
Even again, for South Florida, if you're listening from here in the state, shout out to your homeowners insurance payment.
Let's not even go there.
So those are the things that are killing or hurting the real estate. Now, this is not a market crash. Oh, no, Frank, but this has happened before in 08, 02, 1950. No. That was real estate market. What happened there was just, it was such a pump by the Fed to, hey, have all these private companies make sure that they get involved with selling houses, right? They wanted capitalism to take over. So they gave you much. So you can go get a $300,000 home and they give you a $20,000 check. Hey, here's your house, a $20,000 check, go remodel it. They couldn't sustain that. So that's what caused it to crash. That's not what's happening now.
Different ballgame.
What's happening now is you can't afford it. That's what's happening now, which is scary. Before it was you can afford this, and it's too much. It was a fancy car that you can't drive. This time around, it's you can't afford this, and that's what's happening, and it's a very scary thing.
So the light at the end of the tunnel?
The light at the end of the tunnel. Again, if you're saving money, you're going to have purchasing power because, again, like Coach said, there used to be a line of people waiting to get into a house. Not anymore. And you're going to be able to sit there and say, hey, I have some cash. Oh, whoa, come on in. If you're selling a house, it's more difficult. But if you're buying a house, if you're buying real estate, it's going to be a good time for you to get into that. You might want to think more of it as investment properties than you are for long-term homes. No, but I'll buy now. And if your realtor's telling you, and you could give them my email, frank@amphorbusinesssolutions.com. If your realtor's telling you, oh, but you could refinance later, these rates, the federal government said, won't be lowered until the end of 2025. You won't see a lower rate than today until 2025.
That's significant.
So you're paying this price for the next 3 years.
Minimum.
So when you get a realtor tells you, oh, you could refinance, yes, you're right, in 2026.
They're not going to tell you that.
And God forbid that these people keep jacking up the interest rates and they tell you, well, it's not 2025, it's 2026.
Who are these people?
These people?
Who are these people?
Is that the government?
That's Frank at AnnForBusinessSolutions.com.
The clowns in the White House. There, I said it. Like,
Okay, got it.
The circus that we have. And it's the truth. It's the truth. Like there's nothing there to help out.
That's Frank
That's another.
at AnnForBusinessSolutions.com.
Yes. Here.
We're going to be canceled tomorrow, but who cares?
Hey, it doesn't matter what your political view is.
Right.
Again, you have my email. Send me the last time this administration said we're going to help out with getting you a house.
It's going to be a challenge.
It doesn't happen, whether it's the interest rate or it's if they said we want to stimulate the economy, we're going to hit print on the button. First time home buyers, hey, you know what? We're going to raise it from 500 grand to 750. We know market is wild. We're going to give you the 3% down all the way up to 750. They didn't do that.
But they're starting small because I heard yesterday they're making it illegal for banks to have overdraft fees. Hey, we got something. It's illegal to have overdraft fees.
$5 a month.
And it's illegal also now to charge an NSF fee.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
helping you first.
Yeah, and then you have things like, no, but Bank of America, Bobby, Bank of America is giving you, what is it? I think it's 15% of your income that you're allowed to purchase. So if you make up to $96,000, the problem is that in order for you to do that, they multiply it by 3 times your salary. So if you make 90 grand, which is the limit for the B of A help, right? 3 times that is what? 260. Name somewhere in Miami you can purchase for 260.
Oh, there's a studio efficiency over there in Westchester.
So what use is it giving you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so again, even help like that. Here, I'll give you another secret. What these bank, but why they don't want to help? They want you to purchase the house, give a down payment, pay it for 6 months and not be able to pay it so they can keep your down payment, keep your 6 months and sell it to the next schmuck. That's real estate today.
That's hard.
It's not, I want to have this house. Hopefully they pay it. They pay my rent for the next 10 years. They want to foreclose on you.
I mean, this is
I
wild.
asked for light at the end of the tunnel. I didn't get any light there, bro. That was hard.
These are dark times, Dr. Mario.
Got it. Okay.
Again, save your money. You're going to
There
be able
you
to
go.
purchase.
Come on.
You're going to be able to purchase. You're going to have the purchasing power. Hey, I have cash in hand.
Bugging. It's just so mind blowing because I think I closed March of 2021 and I closed it at 2.7. So to hear 7 point.
And going up.
And climbing.
So that's real estate.
What's next?
We're gonna keep it the positive choo choo train.
Sorry, guys. I didn't break this.
I mean, we mentioned some stuff going on in the White House, and we're not jumping to politics, but
No, we're not.
Let's talk about some education first, and then some of those things that are affecting education. But yeah, what are we seeing education wise?
Well, the $20,000 debt forgiveness.
Oh, we're talking higher education. Here we go. So
got canceled? What
That's
happened
that's
there?
on hold. So we're talking about the student loan college forgiveness.
That's on an appeal process at a state level
There
right
you
now.
go.
So they did sign it. It's $20,000 for anybody who makes $150 or less. I believe it's $150. So you get up to $10K, but that also depends on the type of loan. It has to be government backed. So, an example, if I went and I got a private student loan, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't work.
I could be on welfare. They won't They won't give you any
And
money.
there is
towards
also a ceiling if you're
10K.
married filing jointly.
Correct. And 10K is your per. If you're married filing joint, it's 20K. Correct. So it's
So
10K
that got passed,
per.
and now it's been. So you said it's on hold for a state level. So that's nationwide?
There's been a couple states that have sued because of that. So they've sued for a couple reasons. One, debt forgiveness in certain states is taxable income, and the Fed did not give a proper way to tax that. So here in Florida, we don't have state income tax. Doesn't apply. But for example, like Pennsylvania, they have state income tax, they have municipalities, and they have local jurisdictions. Cancellation of 10K goes on your state income tax. But
So it's not just because people don't want the student loan redistribution. I mean, cancellation of funds.
so that was a part of it. Another part as to, the issues they're having with it is just, it constitutionally, it is a little bit discriminatory, right? Hey, the loans given by us are, and if you've already paid yours, too bad. And if you make certain income, you can't. So there's a lot of things, I
don't know about you, but if I had a business, no matter what it is, no matter if you think I'm a scheming snake and then I'm stealing America's, because I keep seeing, I read posts, I read all social media, I watch Fox News, I watch CNN, I read The Guardian, I read everything because I want to see what the general consensus is of people, where people's minds are at. So I'll read the Instagram comments, I read all that stuff. So it's just like I see people like, you know what, this isn't really the problem. The problem is these institutions where a degree 40 years ago was, worth it because it could be paid off, and the career you would get versus the money you paid was, what was actually worth it. Now it's not. At the end of the day, you signed that paper. I mean, what's next? Are we going to go to car manufacturers? And because you got, because you wanted that F-350, supercharged turbo diesel, whatever the crap, and they got you for $90K. Now there's an F-350 forgiveness. Like, where do we stop? Like, you open the door. Who has the right to say, oh, by the way, XYZ business, all these people are hurting, so we're going to cancel out those loans that they owe you? I don't know how it works. Again, I haven't read all the legislature. I'm just thinking if the government came and told me that all these things that, my product that people paid for is going to be canceled and whatnot, I think I'd be a little bit concerned about the next step of outreach, which is,
lots of questions.
Kind of concerning in my opinion.
Here's the concerning part. 65% of all student debt belongs to people who don't qualify for these loan forgivenesses. Student debt, 65% of...
Do you think that they know that?
Oh, they know that because here's the thing. 65% of the student debt nationwide is held by people who got law degrees, medical practice degrees, right? Architecture, CPAs, right? People who generally have a tendency of making top line more than $100,000. So, I went to I went to med school. I make, $200,000. I don't qualify for this. Even if my medical degree is, $250,000, I don't qualify for it. Right? So that's a big part of it. So it's like, okay, yeah, debt forgiveness. When it's not debt forgiveness, it means somebody's paying for it. There's no such thing as free. Okay, so tax payment towards my school. But if it's everybody's tax collectively, why doesn't it apply across the board? Why to just a specific selective group? And that's where it's being stopped at the state.
That's the challenge.
Now, if these guys came out, and again, these clowns in the White House, and at me if you want, if these guys came out and said, hey, you know what? We don't care what degree you went and got. We're going to give you $10K off the rip.
That's Frank.
That would,
for business
completely frank.
That would be something worth exploring.
Tell us how you really feel, Frank.
But that's not what they did. What they did was we're going to set
Who's they again?
The clowns in White House. I don't want to insult the Ringling Brothers. Like if the clown show walked in and said, we're going to give $10K to everybody across the board, whether you're a lawyer or you went to go study liberal arts or whether you want to study culinary, or if they said, you know what, we're going to give everybody an equal chance. The first $10K going forward, and they got people in school. But that's not what they're doing. And that's the hard part. That's where it gets stopped. That's where it gets blocked. That's where you lose people.
So you're not completely against it. It's just that
I'm not against it. I'm okay for socialist programs, Social Security, federal withholding. No, I get it. We all as a community got to come together. I'm okay with that. But we all pay federal withholding. We all pay Social Security. But for us to say, hey, we all pay for student debt that applies to a small percentage of, no, that's not right.
Okay. What else is going on in education?
Well, the COVID vaccine, the COVID vaccine, now it's mandated as a school vaccination requirement.
So that just got approved. How many votes was it? Whatever it was. I watched the little approval thing.
Yeah.
We have no issues. Yeah, go ahead, go power through. Give 5-year-olds, kids 5 and 8, ages 5 and up. Easy for me to say. Approval to get the old COVID shot as a. So what is the actual languaging on it? Is there a?
They're requiring it as a part of just your immunizations in order to go into public school. Now, private schools don't have to do this. Like private school, hey, I'm a private school and I pick my own thing, my charges, as long But
so it's just been approved.
And again, it got blocked immediately. Why? Because state legislature now says, well, we get to pick, right? You can do that with federal schooling. You can't do that with state. You guys don't pay for that.
And what happened? So, Big Pharma being Big Pharma did what on the back end?
They increased the COVID vaccine shots by 4 times.
400%, yeah.
So to give you an example of what that looked like.
As soon as it got approved
if the federal government walked in tomorrow and said, hey, everybody has to have a pair of Nikes, how much do you think Nikes would cost? They would go through the roof. If everybody has to have a pair of black sunglasses, guess how much sunglasses would cost? It would go through the roof. The more you mandate it, the more it's going to cost.
Yeah.
So, of course, but again, the clown show.
All about money. Well, what's interesting is also the piece of news that just broke about the Pentagon schools infestation with shocking pornographic material for military kids across the Department of Defense education system. All within the last 2 years, for confusion of identity and pornography, to include even topics of masturbation and sexuality.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Tough times in America. We gotta pray hard for our kids and our families and our parents.
Also, Kanye West Private Academy, the Donda Academy, was also shut down yesterday too. So
really,
guess that's what happens when you're talking a lot, when you're vocalizing.
Wow,
your opinion's too loud.
I don't feel like I'm too far off.
What else we got? So, last but not least, election season's coming. We're talking midterms.
That's coming soon.
So, that's happening.
Yeah.
Just get out the vote.
Absolutely. And right now you have your midterms. So this is mostly state representation at a federal level. So governors, Congress, representatives, things like that. You do have justices, supreme justices for your state justices. So not supreme, federal, but your state justices, county courts, judges, those things. So now's the time for you to impact things that affect you on a day-to-day basis a lot.
Exactly. So, it goes without saying, most people pay attention to what? Yes, most people will pay attention to some Senate and some government stuff. More so, people pay the biggest and largest attention to your presidential stuff. Mm-hmm. But what really does affect you the most is your local voting.
Correct.
So it's disheartening to hear, like, no matter where you come from, someone just telling you to just vote straight one way or vote straight another, or, to trust a sign that says vote for this, additional funding for teachers. Mm-hmm. Because if you read that little sign that says this will give additional funding for teachers, might not even do anything like that at all. Propaganda is called propaganda for a reason. Do your research on some of these things, because you don't know any better. Sign outside the polling place, hey, this is going to give funding for teachers. Where's that coming from? Mm-hmm. Does it really? What was the one a couple years ago? I think it was something about more money for the schools, and then you read the thing and it's like casino gambling. What the heck does this have to do with schools? Yeah,
a portion of all casino gambling profits will go through school, but that means that they get more of a tax break and get to charge you more.
Right. So it's like, whoa. I wonder who proposed this. The schools or the casinos, right?
The message is you can express your voice. It's November the 8th is the election. It's the midterms.
Well, early voting's now.
Early voting is now.
So you can go now and vote.
Right. Early voting is now, or mail-in ballot.
Or you can mail it in.
That's right.
We're already getting, what is
also
it?
a lovely hot topic.
Mail trucks that caught fire all of a sudden.
It's good.
I haven't heard of a mail truck get caught on fire all year.
Until now.
A week before elections, midterms. Well,
here's what's
spontaneously combustible.
Here's what's at stake, folks. 435. 435 U.S. House seats are up for grabs, and 35 of the 100 Senate seats.
Correct.
Extremely important.
Extremely important. And on your state level as well, make sure you do go through those amendments and you reach out to people who can understand the language. No offense, Dr. Mario, but some of this stuff was written by lawyers and understood by lawyers for lawyers.
I'm a recovering attorney. I confess.
Handle your people.
So there's a bunch of double negatives and entendres at stake. So make sure you know.
He used the word entendre.
He did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Specifically, you know, like a good one here in Florida, where they tell you, you know, which one was it? I think it was Amendment 3. Was it the one?
What's the one about the property taxes based off of the value?
That one.
Is that the one you're talking? Okay,
Yeah, Amendment 3, where it says,
here's an example of read this thing correctly and how it would affect you. Go ahead.
so the way they read it is just an assessment of tax, but when you start reading it, it's actually, they tell you it's a 1,000% increase. And you're like, oh yeah, it's 1,000% increase. Not a problem. No. What that's telling you is that your property tax is going to go up $1 for every $1,000 of property value. So again, we just came off telling you, if you own a $300,000 home, right now they're going to assess.
Wait for it. Here it comes.
You're going to have to pay. So it's an extra $300 in property tax for no reason.
Just because.
And for no reason. Like, that's all they're trying to do. And they're trying to make it for operations. So in other words, the state gets to keep it.
So it's like when you
things like that.
It's like when you go to Ticketmaster and you're like, oh, the service fee, this fee, that fee, convenience fee. Hey, ain't nothing convenient about this fee. I'm already buying it online. I'm not even harassing a person. This is convenient for you. But if you ask them, it's like, oh, well, that helps the back end, the software.
Pretty soon they're going to be asking for a tip too.
Yeah. So
my favorite when they bring when you order a coffee and they flip the iPad at you, 18, 20, or 25%. I'm like, well, I didn't eat in here.
but that iPad flip though,
That
bro.
iPad flip, hey man, are you going to be cheap or are you going to tip
Pretty
me?
cool.
Gauging by this podcast, if you've kept along up to this point, you could tell how I'm going to tell you to vote for representatives and all of that. But as
What
far
we
as
want to stress,
This was Frank at
and for Business Solutions.
There you go.
or Frank_am from my IG at me. So at least in Florida, make sure Amendment 1 you vote yes, Amendment 2 you vote yes, Amendment 3 you vote no, Amendment County Referendum 1 yes, County Referendum 2 yes, and then School Board Referendum no.
unpaid political.
And if you want me to go,
The thoughts and views expressed by the Strategic Life podcast are
And
not
if you wanna go
representational
cheat
of
sheet-
Frank at amfrabusinesssolutions.com, nor do we believe it.
Nor do we trust it.
and if you want to go cheat sheet, all right, if the representative's name starts with an R next to it, that means it's the right choice.
Goodness. The views expressed by Frank Garcia today are not.
Are his and his alone.
So, no, what honestly, what we want to say is
How do I drop this?
Now he put his shades on.
You can't drop that.
No.
Listen here, Top Gun. Oh, you got your Joe Biden glasses on. Oh,
Exactly.
up top. Who's with me?
Come on.
What we want to stress is
Can't
that,
wait to get lost in the lawn.
is that no matter what you do, just educate yourself.
Research.
Do your own research. And everyone says they do, and watching news networks is not research, people.
No,
In no way, shape, or form. Everyone has an agenda.
All
Like,
sides.
especially this guy. You know?
All sides.
I'm the people's champ. I'm here to help everybody.
Got it.
So just educate yourself.
And please come back and listen to us next week.
Yeah. Don't let this be left. There's knowledge here. There's FAX, big facts. Okay?
Exactly.
This was quarter 4, State of Affairs. Till next time.
See ya.